Says Shernoff.
Welcome to So Says Shernoff. I'm Josh Shernoff. It feels so good to be back. Due to budget cuts, I no longer have a desk, live audience, or respect for my peers. But between us, one of those things I never really had anyway. But with all the changes, one thing that will never change is my patented sarcasm. Now, I've been off since 2022, so I figured I'd just kind of do a quick recap of the last few years. But in my research, I found that not much has changed in the wrestling landscape. I mean, other than Cody Rhodes leaving AEW and returning to WWE to win 2 Royal Rumbles, main event several WrestleManias, and ultimately dethrone a record-setting title reign by Roman Reigns, CM Punk leaving AEW, returning to WWE, Impact Wrestling rebranding themselves as TNA Wrestling and entering into a talent exchange deal with WWE and NXT, Netflix throwing billions at WWE Raw, AEW expanding their relationship with Warner Brothers Discovery, Billy Corgan announcing the NWA is, quote, going nowhere, a statement that perfectly describes both their business strategy and trend in viewership, and Vince McMahon abruptly retiring only to force his way back into WWE disguised as a telenovela villain to facilitate its sale to Endeavor, thus creating a new publicly traded company combining WWE and UFC. Only to then be forced to exit the company once again after allegations came to light that this was in fact not his actual hair color and something else slightly more serious. So yeah, overall, not much has changed. Well, now that we are all caught up on the past few years, let's take a look at the past month in a little segment I've creatively named Headlines. This past month or so has been busy. Saudi Arabia played host to Crown Jewel and saw Cody Rhodes and Liv Morgan walk out with the largest championship belts in the history of WWE. I'm not saying they're overcompensating or anything, but Triple H must know that something doesn't automatically become important in wrestling just because it got bigger, right? The Bloodline is back together. The OG Bloodline has more or less reunited, and it feels so Usi. Sami Zayn is back with Roman and the Usos for now at least, and many feel like this is an endgame scenario to finally close out the greatest storyline in WWE history. But it's not. Having trained at the Wild Samoan Training Center, I have firsthand knowledge that there are anywhere between 15 and 137 more Samoans trained and of age to debut in the coming years. So pack a lunch, because this story is just getting started. Samantha Irvin left WWE. If you listen to the internet, it was just hours before Raw. If you listen to Samantha, it was just months before Raw. But the internet trolls have been obsessed with her since this announcement, blaming Ricochet for wanting her in AEW, blaming her for having the audacity to dream bigger than the spot WWE saw for her. These fans who were once touting her as Fink-esque are now questioning if this has ruined their memories of her. One guy saying, quote, "It's just a bit shitty when you are a fan of someone's work and you hear that they hated doing it. Kinda wrecks it a bit." I get what you're saying. But do you know how many people hate their job yet still do it well? Do you think people who bust your table at a restaurant got there because they had a dream? How many authors or actors or musicians continue a series or playing a character or song while being unhappy and unfulfilled? Never mind the fact that she actually loved what she was doing but just wanted to grow her career. Listen, fans who are attacking Samantha, let me talk directly to you. Hi. How's the basement? Gets cold down there this time of year, doesn't it? Well, real quick, before your mom calls you up for dinner, this is a real person with a job, making a choice to leave said job because it wasn't fulfilling. Maybe this person just needs to see what else is out there. They know they're talented. They know that they do what they do better than 99.9% of the people attempting to do the same job, but they want more. Let them go. Let them try new things. If it doesn't work out, they can always come back for season 5. Moving on. Back in 2018 when I started this show, it was so easy to poke fun at WWE. I mean, things were bad back then. But now they are firing on all cylinders. Thankfully, we have AEW to fill the void of disappointment and despair. And before you start complaining that all I do is bash AEW, allow me to show you this clip from 5 years, one pandemic, about 40 pounds ago.
Here we go. Josh is going to bury the WWE again while he puckers up to the buttocks that is AEW. Well, let me just say this. You are right. So what if they are an establishment of visionaries who can do no wrong? Who cares if I love AEW and all the people involved in that company that I hope to one day call my home? And yes, maybe I have looked into see if squatters' rights applies to attending multiple wrestling shows. Maybe I have been told that that's not how the law works.
I was AEW's biggest cheerleader. Next to Dave Meltzer, of course, seen here creating a complex mathematical formula to justify why a Canadian destroyer off a ladder through 3 tables is actually a transitional move. But yes, I was all in with AEW. See what I did there? Until AEW went all out crazy. See, again, it doesn't matter. The point is AEW has continued to trend downward in both viewership and goodwill with fans. But that's okay. Because I'm back, and I'm here to help. Just like I helped get Jerry Lynn a photo on your website by literally tracking him down and forcing a picture to be taken of him, I am going to help turn the AEW ship around. And it's only going to take 3 simple steps. Step 1, and this goes right to the head honcho himself, Tony Khan. Take a deep breath and remember why you started AEW in the first place. No, not because WWE stood you up for a meeting. The story you actually told people. Your love of wrestling, the love of sports and statistics. Go back to that. Be an alternative, not a spite store. Okay, that's step 1. That sets the tone. Step 2, do not, under any circumstances, hold a post-show press conference ever again. Just don't. They are not a good idea. Best case scenario, you're caught on camera giving talent an awkward hug. Worst case, well, and step 3, and this one will be the hardest to enforce because this isn't for AEW or Tony Khan. This is for the AEW sickos and the anti-AEW sickos or healthies. Stop bitching and moaning about WWE. Stop complaining that WWE is so much better than AEW, and stop then complaining that AEW is just taking ex-WWE talent. You have a choice. The company is either built on no-name independent wrestlers who may be incredible and deserving of a big break but have no name value, or you bring in established talent who have been to the highest of heights in the industry and are there to help make the product better. And sickos, stop complaining that AEW is better than WWE. It's not. I mean, you're entitled to your wrong opinion, but AEW is objectively not as good as WWE by literally every metric that counts. So just shut up and enjoy what you enjoy. Stop making it a competition when it really just isn't. My wife and I watch the Chicago shows. Fire is fun, Petey is solid, Ned is hot garbage. And not just because it's the only one out of the 3 not to feature Colt Boom Boom Cabana, but because the writing is just so bad. So we stopped watching it. That's it. Point is, if you don't like AEW or you don't like WWE, stop wishing harm on one or the other. Just watch what you like and let other people do the same. Unless what you like is the Wrestling Observer, in which case, stop. Because Dave Meltzer, seen here after tearing apart his office looking for that extra quarter star for Will Ospreay match, recently fell for an internet troll's fake post about Backlash 2025 being held at the Tokyo Dome. Dave went on to report said post, only to then retract, claiming that it was fake. Dave is by far not the first person, and certainly not the last, to be confused by online posts, specifically because those posts are aimed to target unsuspecting fans and deceive them. The problem is the same as it always is with Dave. He claims to be a journalist. As someone who pretends to play a journalist once a month on the internet, even I check the validity of the news I'm going to fake report on. Look, there are plenty of journalists out there who fail to do their due diligence. Dave is not alone in that. Unfortunately, Dave is known for that. I mean, this comes off the heels of him explaining to somebody on social media that it wasn't about the demos, it was the ratings itself. A point that was countered by pro wrestling journalist Dave Meltzer about 2 years earlier when he said all that matters in ratings is the demos. The only difference was which program was being rated. Dave, I don't want this new season of So Says Shernoff to be filled with me calling you out on your mistakes. I mean, I'll do it because it's fun, but there's so much more to talk about. So as we round out 2024, I ask you this. Instead of just going with a story posted by a fan on social media, try an unbiased source or two. Be, what's the term? A journalist. And if you can't do that, then just call it satire. Trust me, if you do, you can get away with anything. We'll be right back. Has this ever happened to you?
Hey Dad, can you heat me the new Jey Uso figure? And I want the Randy Orton toy.
I think I've got this covered. When your kids want the latest wrestling figures, don't waste money on new ones.
That's not Randy Orton.
That is Randy Orton from 2002. Even has his original haircut.
Dad, this isn't Jey Uso.
Even better, it's Kurgan.
No need.
And don't forget about your little princess. Hey sweetie, look what I found.
What is this?
It's the world's most dangerous man, Ken Shamrock.
I asked for a Ken doll.
And you got one. Pre-owned wrestling figures. Kids might hate them, but your wallet will thank you. So this was originally Gold Dust. Then he became Sabu, and I think I may have set him on fire. Welcome back. Our main topic tonight, reaction videos. Not to be confused with reaction to videos, which you can find right below this video. It's a little thumbs up emoji and it would just mean the world to me if you'd click it. But no, I'm talking about reaction videos. There's something that became really popular on TikTok over the past few years. In case you're not familiar with them, take a look.
Oh my God! The Rock's here! Oh my God, the final boss! No way! Dude! What?
I've never reacted to anything with that much emotion. Not a gift, not the birth of my children, not even when I got my own action figure, available now at sosayshernoff.bigcartel.com. These over-the-top reactions have somehow become their own genre of content. And look, I get it. In a world where everyone is fighting for attention, subtlety died somewhere around 2019. I've seen a video of someone having a full emotional breakdown watching someone successfully make a grilled cheese sandwich. But nowhere, and I mean nowhere, has this trend hit harder than in professional wrestling. We've reached a point where people are literally filming themselves watching entire wrestling shows, complete with dramatic gasps at every single move. These reactions have become more choreographed than the matches themselves, and the formula is always the same. Gasp! Oh my God! Hands on face! No way! Falls out of chair! I can't believe what I just saw, dude! It was someone's ring entrance. The weird part, maybe the most troubling part, is that it was working. These reaction channels were getting millions of views until WWE remembered they own their copyright. You might have heard that WWE recently cracked down on TikTok reaction videos that were basically just streaming their shows illegally. One creator's response was, and I quote, "I just didn't expect it to be today." what exactly were you expecting? A save the date card, dear valued content thief? Just wanted to give you a heads up that we'll be enforcing our copyright next Tuesday, XOXO WWE legal. And now these same creators are shocked that a publicly traded company worth billions doesn't want them streaming premium live events for free while making duck faces at their iPhone. Who could have possibly seen this coming? Oh, right, Everyone saw this coming, including the reaction video creators, because the first part of that quote I read earlier was, quote, "We fully expected this to happen someday." So let's stop pretending to be shocked. Or are you just so used to overreacting for the camera that you can't react any other way? So what's the solution? Well, maybe we need to remember that not everything needs a reaction video. Sometimes a simple nod or a quiet, "That was cool," is enough. Maybe we should condition the general public to spend their time watching videos featuring people with actual talent. Maybe short and or long form scripted satirical commentary. But until then, I'll be here working on my shocked face for when I inevitably have to start my own reaction channel, reacting to people's reaction videos. Well, that's our show, folks. Join us again every single month at the end of the month for your most trusted fake news and professional wrestling. And stay glued to our social media at So Says Shernoff for short clips and musings from yours truly. This has been So Says Shernoff, because that is what Shernoff had to say. See you next time.